Hey, what's up, guys? So, as you can see, I won the first trial, and the matchmaking here is Doolum is in the higher winners bracket, and I'm in the lower winners bracket. So, let's take a look at the ranking here. And so, I'm going against Graevyn, and Graevyn looked like he dropped a room just like I did, similar to my opponent, Ruin Lord. They had very close scores. So Graevyn is 84 mil, almost 3.8 mil STP, and here are my stats. This is what I'm running on defense, so it's the same as yesterday. I didn't make any changes. So what we're gonna do is just take a look at what he has on defense, and then we're gonna try to go in and get some attacks going. So he has Mercs with Black Knight in 1, and clearly I've got to take a ball to that. I'm not quite sure the villains yet because I'm going to need Vulture and Lizard elsewhere. So matter of fact, for 2, I'm not sure what else I can use except Lizard and New Warriors. So we'll see how that goes. I've seen that fail, but I'm going to take a look at some videos to see if there's something else I can try to make work there. When I look at the XTX dorm, my first thought is to go in with the Superior 6 and Vulture, and so that's most likely what I'll need to do there. Since he has New War in 2, I don't expect his Spider Society with Spider Woman to be as tough. I'm gonna give that some thought on what I want to use there, because I'm not sure Masters of Evil will work, but I'm thinking to go in with Tangle Web and Eternals. Then on his room 5 with Superior 6, most likely this is going to be the APOC Doom I'm going to use, and I'll probably just try Underworld since they're all villains and see how that goes. And so with room 6, I did have success with Masters of Evil with Doom, but I may have to just try straight Masters of Evil. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. So, guys, you see, even the best laid plans this season just go awry. So, let's take a look at what I did here. And clearly, that Black Knight makes a huge difference because he allows Old Man Logan to get his special off, and then that means Old Man Logan gets a revive. So, that is a huge difference for Cabal. But as it would turn out, I had to use my Masters of Evil on room 6. And, guys, they speculate and they probably can do the attacks better, or maybe it's all theory. But I was told that Tangle Web Eternals would work with Kestrel. Or you could use Big Time Kestrel Eternals. You could use Big Time Kestrel Tangle Web, and that would work. So, in Nova, and that would work. But clearly, going in with this team here, which they did pretty well, with Slayer and Archangel, they were able to get rid of Black Knight and Old Man Logan. This just turned out to was going to have to be a double tap, and that's just how it worked. This was a huge error because I saw a video. I just literally watched the video 5 minutes before I started doing this recording, and New Warriors wiped this team. And I saw yesterday or the day before, New Warriors with Lizard didn't. And once again, the general consensus and advice is going with New Warriors and Lizard. So these are the lessons that we learned, especially in the first week. If you see Secret Defenders with New War in room 2, you can take them out with straight New Warriors. You don't need Lizard. And if guys are telling you it's not going to work, I mean, if your New Warriors are too small, maybe they won't work. But this was just a 200k punch up, and you guys saw how well that went. So New Warriors work on Secret Defenders New War in 2. And so here, this was dicey. This is the old Dulam defense, and it's really pretty good. You see my efficiency was about as low as it can get, but I was fortunate to one tap, had superior 6 on offense, used Vulture and Lizard, and it appears that I needed them both to even try to get this done. And he didn't even have any G19 tunes, so I can only imagine if Nightcrawler and Gambit are G19, this would be much tougher for me. But at least this was a one shot, and so even though the efficiency is terrible, that helps because I didn't have to double tap. And so here, I had totally underestimated Spider-Woman because in 2, Spider-Woman with Spider Society, she didn't do anything. In room 4, they're much tougher. And I'm not saying Secret Defenders is an offensive juggernaut, they're not. It's just a complete team that I had. And I meant to go in with Nova, but I wasn't upset with the mistake of going in with Kestrel because she made a difference. And the key thing is, since I did have to double tap, at least Peter was gone. And so that made it possible. And since my Eternals didn't work on room 6, this was ideal for me to come in here. It was amazing to see how Weaver was almost killed off. But I wasn't so worried about that. I was just hoping that they wouldn't hit Icarus because I figured he could get the double tap. They were low enough, and that worked out. And so here, because they're all villains, I was taking a chance, but it worked out that my villains got revives. APOC was strong enough to handle the onslaught, and I was able to make it through all their revives. This is a terrible efficiency, but once again, a very tough team. Superior 6 Superior 6 with Vulture in room 5, and they all get revives, so I had to work through the team twice. And to my surprise, APOC took a long time to get to his ult, so I don't know exactly what slowed him down. Maybe that position order is not good. Maybe Zug should be in the middle on this particular one. I don't know what happened to him. I have to relook at the replays and kind of, on the weekend, kind of dissect that a little bit more. But this was a good team, so just so you guys are aware, if you have and maybe your Underworld doesn't have to be as big as mine, but they did an excellent job. Underworld, APOC, and Doom against Superior 6 in 5. And I will try to use the same team if they have a scroll, because I'm not sure I will be able to do anything else. And so as you guys see, I had to cancel out on this one. And, so now I'm just going to stick with Masters of Evil, because that was my first thought. And I had Flint actually tell me, he said, look, man, this works. He sent me a screenshot. And that's why I went with it. The Masters of Evil with Noir, and I'm going to keep in the clip where I upgraded Noir to 1 diamond. I've been holding off, not Noir, Spider-Man Big Time. I've been holding off on upgrading Spider-Man Big Time for the sake of whatever's going to be going on with Old Man Logan. But in conversations, they're like, yeah, his red star is going to take forever to get released. So, let me just go ahead and put this on Big Time, because he is becoming so valuable in Crucible. And so he's done. And, I may even go ahead and whatever the 2 diamond costs, I may go ahead and get that, because that's how much I just believe in using them now. But this is going to be somewhat of a stable team for me when I see that Infinity Watch, Quicksilver, and 6. And this is a great way to get that counter going and using Spider-Man Big Time to its best use in this room. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. I'm not sure if I can maintain and hold out for this one on the win, but he has a really good chance to one-shot everything. So once he gets that in, which may be tomorrow sometime, I'll try to take care of this with what he did with his attacks and give you guys the final score. Okay, guys, chat later. So the results are in, guys, and my opponent, he wrecked me. I just want to kind of go over some things that we can really learn from how he set up his defense and what he had on offense. Unfortunately, the replays aren't in, but what I gather from it, by him having Scroll and APOC on offense, he was just going to do much better than I would under the circumstances, because he was able to put together such a strong defense. Now, when we look at room 1, under normal circumstances, this is not a bad hold here at an 83.56. The problem is, when you look at room 2, even though he double tapped, he did not have to use a Cabal or an APOC or anything like that. Look at the team he used to go in the first time. His B and C tunes in here. And the team he finished it off with is more like a B team. It served its purpose for getting a double tap, the Mercs with Wolverine and 2. But it didn't pull powerful enough tunes. You need meta tunes to be pulled by this, possibly the best team in the game at the moment. And so here I'm happy with these results. If Masters of Evil can get hit like this is a win. I'm happy with these results. I'm happy with these results because Cabal was used, but I wish Cabal would have been used on the Mercs. And here, this is just an example of when you're going with Eternals in Tangle Web, you need to have Kestrel with them. I still like this counter better because I have used the Big Time, the Masters of Evil, and I think that turns out a bit better. But what it showed me is I need to make a different defense to have Scroll and APOC on offense. So Desir mentioned this yesterday, and I've seen a few guys putting Black Knight in place with Mercs in room 1, and I went against that yesterday. And what it does, it allows Old Man Logan to use his special, and that just sets the team on a different scale when that happens. So I'm going to go with that. I was helping out with Updog Stream, or just there and participating yesterday, and the full Spider Society was in room 3 and was extremely hard to beat. So I'm going to put him in 2 because off memory, I got to double check, but I think Noir gets bleeds on his special, and he may get bleeds on his ultimate, but I got to check. I'm pretty sure it's just a special. Team 3, we've seen what they can do so far. I'm going to move this out of time dorm to 4 because they're still a solid team. They'll probably do better in room 4. And I'm going to go with the idea of my opponent here. Superior 6 with Vulture is going to limit the use of heroes in this room, making it where the opponent is going to be pushed more to using villains, and then just have to kill this big team twice. And of course, Infinity Watch with Quicksilver kind of speaks for itself because so many guys are using it. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. The only other thing I think I want to add, when we get dropped backwards, this is what happens. I've never been this close to top 200. And this is just a false sense of whatever's going on because I'm not going to be anywhere close to top 200 next week if I go 2-1 or 1-2. And it'll be a little more realistic. But it just goes to show how it throws everything out of whack and where guys are not where they should be, especially with counts that are my size and they're in gold or platinum. And it just can be discouraging for most anybody playing the game, this type of matchmaking. But hopefully we can pull it back and get things balanced off and make sure guys are having fun because this looks to be a very good season with creativity. Okay, guys, chat later.